is
Yoshimitsu.
He's a gay space ninja who steals from the rich and gives to the poor. He's literally the greatest idea for a character ever. He wields a katana that he names after himself, and it's powered by killing evil people. Oh, and he has a prosthetic arm. Man, why do all the cool ninjas have a prosthetic arm? His name's Yoshimitsu, which roughly translates to Yoshimitsu. But no, I mean something along the lines of Ray of Justice or Good Light. He first appeared in 1994's Tekken, voiced by director and producer Katsuhiro Harada, and then he appeared in Soul Calibur in 1998. Everything about him demands your attention. His mask, his outfit, his demeanor, and over-the-top voice acting. Alright, shut up. His fighting style is a mix of ninjutsu, jujitsu, supernatural ninja magic, spinning shenanigans with his mechanical arm, and some silly antics that kind of reflect traditional Japanese theater like kabuki or something called no theater. And it makes sense. Kabuki is a traditional form of Japanese dance and theater. It means to act exaggerated or outlandishly for attention. No theater, meanwhile, is more of a Japanese drama with a focus on beauty, expression, and dramatic speech. It's way more serious. Yoshi also wears a Hanya mask, which is a no theater thing, but most of all it's just spooky and looks cool. So you combine his theatrics with some interesting glass cannon attacks like his self-damaging teleport, his seppuku attack, and his weird attacks that leave him dizzy or doing some weird kind of theater thing, or using his prosthetic arm like a helicopter. It makes him a pretty captivating character that's hard to dislike. Speaking of outlandish, his costume and aesthetic are always changing in interesting ways in both Tekken and Soul Calibur, which is pretty refreshing since so many fighting game characters always stay the same. So you've always seen him in Tekken or Soul Calibur and you've always been like, man, what a weird guy. He's pretty cool. But what's the actual story behind this guy? Well, I don't know, so I looked it up on the internet. In Tekken, he's referred to as a ninja from space in the manual of Tekken 1. Probably because that just sounded cool in the 90s. Which it did. And it kind of looked like a guy from Independence Day. Did this come out after Independence Day? Hold on. Oh my god, it did. Tekken 3 Yoshimitsu's based off of Independence Day alien. Anyways, he's not a ninja from space. Namco totally confirms in Tekken 6's art book, apparently, that he's totally human. Totally. So in Tekken 1, he's a leader of the Manji group who, and I quote, are a group of Robin Hoods who return things to poor people. He usually wears a mask and uses the clan's cursed sword that's powered by slaying evil. He enters the King of Iron Fist tournament as a distraction for his clan to steal the tournament funds. But instead he runs into a corrupt sumo man named Ganryu. So Yoshi's like, frick that, and steals Ganryu's dirty sumo money, whatever that means, and proceeds to make it rain in the slums. Look at Law, he looks ridiculous. Oh no, and he dropped some money all over I-285 in Atlanta. When I wasn't there. In Tekken 2, it's established that Yoshimitsu lost his arm during a botched heist of some high-tech device, but the doctor he was stealing it from gives him a new prosthetic arm. I don't know why he would do that, that's real dumb. But they become best friends, and then the doctor gets kidnapped and Yoshimitsu owes him a solid, so he enters the tournament, rescues the doctor from a helicopter, and then becomes the helicopter, and that's Tekken 2. Tekken 3, his sword is now a damn lightsaber. Yoshimitsu's doctor friend says he's sick and needs some of Ogre's blood to survive, and Yoshi's like, I got you, fam. And he goes and gets it for him. Then the doctor just starts testing the ogre blood on a mouse, and Yoshimitsu doesn't question the fact that the doctor isn't ill, number one, and number two, he's super into experimenting on animals. Until, wait, what's happening? Oh god! Tekken 4, Yoshimitsu starts up a bunch of political refugee camps around the world because he's a fucking baller. But he goes broke. So he enters the tournament, planning to meet with Heihachi and propose a merger between the Manji clan and the Mishima Zaibatsu, which is basically like a worldwide financial conglomerate ran by Heihachi. It's like Hitachi. Hitachi Mishima. That's another joke I wrote. Alright, so apparently if you Google Hitachi, you get a bunch of vibrators, not like Hitachi. I saw this, so now you have to see this. You're welcome. Yoshimitsu wins the tournament, and Heihachi guffaws at the idea of merging companies with Yoshimitsu. Ha ha ha. But Yoshimitsu planned for this, I guess, and just has his clan steal the Mishima vault with a helicopter. Wait, how are you gonna steal an entire vault that's probably underground with one helicopter? Fuck it. Oh, he's an insect now. Tekken 5, the vault had an unconscious guy in it, and Yoshimitsu just kind of saw it and was like, whoa, that's fucked. And then he lets the doctor take care of it. 1 month later, Yoshimitsu comes back with a new character design, and uh-oh, unconscious dude is an evil dude. And he killed like everybody. His name is fucking Brian Fury. Yoshimitsu hunts him down and does a big heckin' revenge. Tekken 6, apparently fucking Brian is still alive. And to make things worse, Yoshi's sword is running low on battery. He buys a charger, but it seems like the sword just dies really fast compared to when he first got it, so he buckles and he buys a new sword called the Fumikin. The Fumikin XR. It's basically the same sword. I don't know why this is in the story. Yoshimitsu kills Azazel, who's the big bad of Tekken 6. And he pulls the dark orb out of Azazel's chest, and he's like, what the hell is this? And then the dark orb is all crazy, and it goes into his new Fumikin XR. And then no one knows what happened after that. He's crazy. Tekken 7, now he's an octopus. Hey, it's your boy. Tekken 7 doesn't have much story for its characters outside of the Mishima campaign mode, which sucks. But there is a side story where Yoshimitsu has an interaction with Leo, a German blue-eyed blonde-haired twink. Yoshimitsu makes some off-putting remarks about how delicate and beautiful he is, and Leo is clearly uncomfortable with this. If Yoshimitsu beats Leo, he mounts him, and then I can't show the rest of the video or I'll get demonetized, but you can fill in the gaps on what happens. I mean, look at those tentacles. Come on. If Leo wins, he just kind of uncomfortably runs away. And he talks about how fucked up Japan is.
Japan is so verrückt.
And that's the Tekken lore. Wasn't that some shit?
Ah! Hilfe! Ein komischer Oktopus-Typ ist hinter mir her.
Soul Calibur. Let's go on to Soul Calibur now. So in Soul Calibur 1, Yoshimitsu's from the base of Mount Fuji, and he's referred to as a mechanical or mechanized human ninja with blood type O. Get it? Because he's like Robin Hood. He's a universal giver of death. Soul Calibur story takes place in the 16th century and features real historical figures like Oda Nobunaga and Yoshimitsu. Nobunaga was an actual famous daimyo and was notorious for his military brilliance and his brutality to uncooperative squad fams in the Sengoku period. Yoshimitsu was one such person to reject Nobunaga's offer to merge forces, so Nobu rolled up with his army and murder-lated Yoshi's village. Yoshimitsu lost his arm in the fight and replaced it with a prosthetic arm. That's what you do when you lose an arm and you're a ninja. Everyone knows that. Read a book. Yoshimitsu decided he wanted revenge on Nobunaga, so he hunted for the Soul Edge, which is the big, strong, evil weapon in Soul Calibur. On his quest for revenge, he finds a bunch of dead dudes who got owned by Nightmare. And he reflects on how cold-blooded that shit was, and how evil Nobunaga is too. Fuck. Then he reconsiders the whole revenge thing, knowing that he wouldn't be any better if he just revenged all the time. Then Yoshimitsu kills Inferno, and then he destroys Soul Edge. The evil in that jumps into his sword, which now becomes possessed, and he has to suppress it for the rest of his days, pretty much. Then he forms a new clan of nice guy thieves. In Soul Calibur 2, he vows to get rid of the evil in his sword. Cold turkey. But one day he falls asleep after a round of endless sushi, when Voldo's blind ass rolls up and steals his katana, mistaking it for Soul Edge because it has all the evil in it. Because he's fucking blind. Yoshimitsu finds and beats Voldo, and then fights Inferno again, then destroys Soul Edge again. That's Soul Calibur 2. Soul Calibur 3. Yoshimitsu realizes now there are a bunch of chunks of Soul Edge, and he wants to destroy them all. But then he realizes how many there are and it's gonna take forever, so he changes his mind and he goes back to Japan for another round of endless sushi. When he wakes up, he recruits a bunch more thieves and finishes forming what's now called the Manjito clan. And these guys arrange to rob a vault of treasure that also happens to have a nugget of the soul edge, but the Manjito get owned by Tira. Yoshimitsu gets upset and fights Tira, and then he fights the devil, and then throws gold all over the place. That's the story of Soul Calibur 3. Soul Calibur 4. Yoshimitsu reestablishes that he wants to destroy every piece of Soul Edge. Then he fights the big boss guy and spares him, seeing the good in him or something.
That sword is a true evil, not thee. If none can know what lies ahead, then losing one's way is just human nature. Grudges may remain, but none has the right to blame thee.
In Soul Calibur 5, at this point Yoshimitsu is a senior citizen, so he chooses one of his pupils from a village called Fuma to replace him, which is similar to the name of the Fumakin sword in Tekken 6. Really, Japan? God damn it.
Japan ist so verrückt.
Fuma actually means permanence or immortality, so it makes sense what's about to happen here. So the two fight and Fumo guy wins, and he kills Yoshimitsu.
Behold, I am Yoshimitsu II!
Oh, and of course he lost his arm in the fight, so he gets the new prosthetic arm. Soul Calibur 6. This game actually tries to attempt to redo all the lore and keeps it pretty basic and washed down. Yoshimitsu wants revenge against some warlord that killed his tribe, and then he has a revelation at the end to be a good guy, and then he protects the weak, yada yada blah 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 blah. So that's the story of Yoshimitsu in both games. Oh god, he was in a live action movie too. Right, so he was just kind of a Power Ranger villain. Also, he was a fucking villain. He doesn't have any special moves in this movie. He's working with Kazuya, who's a bad guy. His only power he has in the film is to raise the ratings from medium to high for the televised tournament.
Look at the ratings. Through the roof.
Also, he completely beats Jin's ass and barely takes any hits when Jin realizes the secret to the fight is to punch the enemy in the fucking face.
Destroy the mask of death, and you will see there is nothing behind it to fear.
I love it when the protagonist solves the riddle. Now, I did skip some minor details from each game and some side stories from spin-off games, but you get the idea. He's honorable, he's wacky.
You got it all wrong.
He's Robin Hood, he's a ninja, he's dramatic, he's got fashion sense, he's gay, and he does crimes. Our boy, Yoshimitsu. That's all I wrote in my script. Let me know what kind of videos you want to hear about. Support the channel by subscribing, share it if you thought it was good. If you thought it was bad, don't share it. And click the bell if you're into clicking the bell. I gotta go.
The term kabuki derives from a Japanese word meaning to grab attention by acting outlandishly. Anyway, you had these people who were known as kabuki types, and it was one of these flamboyant kabuki types who was thought to have been the founder of kabuki theater.
Ninjas don't dance, they generally kill, okay?